You are welcome to Tuga Media TV. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button for more videos. Sit back, relax, and watch this inspiring story on the journey of Michael from Africa to a new beginning. Michael, a young African man, had big dreams for his future after finishing school. However, life had its own plans. With limited opportunities in his homeland, he found himself working at a local car dealership, selling vehicles to support himself. His work was steady, but far from glamorous. One day, a major incident occurred that would change the course of his life forever. The car dealership he worked for was struck by a significant blow when a trusted employee, a man he had known for quite some time, stole a huge sum of money. This theft left the dealership in turmoil, piling up massive debts. The pressure mounted, and soon the dealership's creditors were knocking at the door. Michael found himself caught in the whirlwind of the situation, and people began to threaten his life over the debts that were not his fault. Desperate, Michael knew he needed to get away before things escalated any further. He made a swift decision to leave his country and start a new life elsewhere. With no time to waste, Michael reached out to a friend who had once lived in Brazil. His friend helped him secure a visa, and soon he had his flight ticket. It was his chance to escape the dangerous situation, to find hope in a new land. Michael packed his bags and left his homeland, embarking on a journey that would take him across countries, through trials, and toward a new beginning. Upon arriving in Brazil, Michael was greeted by Peter, a friend who had made the transition to Brazil years earlier. Peter welcomed him into his home, offering him shelter and warmth as he settled into his new environment. For a month, Michael stayed with Peter, trying to find work and get on his feet. However, as the days passed, his funds began to dwindle. He soon realized that his savings wouldn't last much longer. Michael reached out to friends and family, hoping to receive financial assistance to continue his journey. He needed $1,000 to buy a ticket to continue his travels, this time to Panama, where he hoped to find work and a way forward. Many people turned him down, unwilling or unable to help, but he was fortunate that his uncle came through for him. His uncle sent him the $1,000, and with that, Michael was able to buy the ticket and continue on his way. He flew to Panama and soon found himself in Nicaragua, where his journey took another turn. In Nicaragua, he caught a taxi to Honduras. The night was falling, and he decided to stop for the night, booking a hotel room to rest. The next morning, Michael went to the local police to get his passport stamped, an essential part of his journey. The police took his details, but he was not yet out of the woods. His next step was to travel by bus to the border of Honduras. But as fate would have it, armed robbers ambushed the bus, firing shots at the vehicle. Terrified, Michael and the other passengers fled on foot. He walked for miles, hoping to find safety. Together with some fellow travelers, they reached the border of Guatemala, but the police there were not kind. They turned them back and sent them back to Honduras. In Guatemala, Michael was fortunate enough to meet a kind woman who offered him shelter. He paid her $250 for accommodation, and over the next 5 days, he gathered his strength and prepared to move on. His next destination was Mexico. The journey took him through a boat ride, crossing a river before boarding a bus to Tapachula, a city in southern Mexico. But his journey was far from over. From Tapachula, Michael continued his journey northward through the rugged terrain of Mexico. After a difficult and exhausting journey, he arrived in Chihuahua City, but the real challenge was just beginning. Michael and a group of fellow travelers decided to take a perilous walk through the forests, trying to avoid the authorities and make their way closer to the United States border. However, their plans were thwarted when they were apprehended by security guards near the Mexico-U.S. border and taken into custody. The detention center was a nightmare. Michael found himself crammed into a large room with 60 other people. Conditions were appalling. No privacy, no proper hygiene, and no comfort. After 8 grueling days in this overcrowded facility, the authorities moved Michael and the others to another detention center. This place was no better. Life there was harsh. Michael was forced to work for a mere $2 a day, doing menial tasks just to survive. Despite the terrible conditions, Michael's resolve remained strong. After some time, his asylum case was reviewed. Against the odds, his case was approved and he was granted the opportunity to stay in the United States. His release was a bittersweet moment. The journey had been long and filled with challenges, but he was finally free to build a new life. In the years that followed, Michael worked hard to make a living and send money back to his family. He was determined to succeed. The hardships he had faced had only strengthened his will to overcome the challenges that life continued to throw his way. Michael's journey from Africa to the United States was one of perseverance, hope, and survival, but it was also the beginning of a chapter where he could finally live the life he had always dreamed of. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to Tuga Media TV for more future upload.